In today's NBA, trade demands are not surprising anymore. Superstars change teams, force moves, and reshape the league whenever their situation stops working. And after the Luka Doncic trade last season, it seemed like the idea of loyalty was dead.
There's no loyalty in it. It's business. It's money involved.
And the whole quote-unquote loyalty thing I think it's overrated. I think this is a business at the end of the day, and it's a lot of money involved.
That way of thinking is not controversial. It is the reality of modern basketball. And it has a name: player empowerment. But somehow, the European superstars still never demand trades. And to understand why that keeps happening, you have to look at how NBA players are taught to think in the first place. The NBA today is built around the idea of player empowerment. American superstars are expected to take control of their careers, evaluate their situations, and make decisions that give them the best chance to succeed. When they join a franchise, they consider themselves a brand, and so they do what's best to help their brand. The poster child for this mentality is James Harden, with Kevin Durant being a close second.
To answer your question, this is a business at the end of the day, so I feel like players should, ultimately do what's best for them, and the front office does what's best for them and their owner and their organization. So
that mindset does not come from nowhere. It is developed over time through a system that rewards individual success, personal branding, and career control. Players are constantly evaluated, compared, and placed into conversations about legacy, which creates pressure to maximize every opportunity while they're still in their prime. In that environment, staying in a bad situation is often seen as a mistake rather than a sign of loyalty. Moving teams becomes a way to fix problems quickly and put yourself in a better position to win. After all, it's a young man's sport and there isn't a lot of time for these players. So when a superstar demands a trade, it is not viewed as betrayal, it's viewed as a strategy. But why don't European superstars think this way? To understand that, you have to notice where they come from. The difference between American and European superstars does not start in the NBA. It starts in how they're raised to understand basketball from the very beginning. American players often come through systems that reward individuality. From high school to AAU circuits, the focus is heavily placed on exposure, rankings, and standing out. That environment naturally builds confidence and ambition, but it also builds a mindset where the player is at the center of everything. European players come up in a completely different structure. They're developed in club systems where the emphasis is not on being seen, but on being effective within a team. From a young age, they are taught to play within systems, follow coaching instructions, and understand the game as a collective effort rather than an individual stage. Minutes are earned through discipline, not just talent, and development is measured over years, not highlights. Also, European superstars like Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo feel a sense of gratitude to the city they play for. Nikola Jokic was drafted very late, and one could say the Nuggets took a chance on him. For Giannis, there were even times when he couldn't afford transportation to practice, and it was the locals that helped. Even after winning a title for their respective teams, these guys still feel that sense of gratitude. The American system doesn't encourage its stars to feel that way. If a situation is not working, the logical response is to change it. For European players, leaving is not the first solution, as Charlie Villanueva said here.
These international cats don't have the same mentality as a US-born player where if shit doesn't go right, we want to leave.
But this wasn't always the case for American superstars. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and many other legends stayed with one team. Although, it's worth noting that Kobe Bryant almost left the Lakers when the team was struggling, and Tim Duncan is actually from the Virgin Islands. Regardless, they stayed with one team. So, what changed? Player empowerment in the NBA really started with LeBron James's The Decision. This changed the landscape of basketball more than people like to admit. And what it really did was take away the need for loyalty in the game. But for European players, loyalty is part of basketball, And it means a lot to this channel as well. So why don't you join our YouTube community? We've got more than just NBA videos for you. So don't just watch, be a part of it. Join our membership today and get early access to videos and level up with discounted merch. If that wasn't the case, Nikola Jokic entering free agency next year would have been the biggest topic in the NBA. But we already know his decision.
This is going to be my second home, and hopefully I'm going to come one time here after I finish career and still have friends here, you know.
Možeš sebi da zamisliš negdje da igraš mimo Denvera?
Pa ne bi volao da zamislim to, našao sam ovdje stvarno mir, našao sam dvoje djeca su mi se rodili ovdje, svi su mi tu moji mir, kuća, nekako našao sam neki svoj život i sviđa mi se život ovdje.
To him, it's not about public image or saying the right thing. The team is not just where they play, it becomes a part of where they live, where they raise their family, and where they build their identity over time. When European players enter the NBA, they're looking for a home away from home. But when Americans enter the league, it's business. However, the American superstars are right when they speak against loyalty, and the perfect example is the Luka Doncic trade. Luka had always made it clear where he wanted to end his career.
Was your intention to finish your career in Dallas?
Of course. It's an easy question.
Staying wasn't a difficult decision for him, but then the business side of the NBA caught up with him, and he was traded while he was watching TV. That trade showed how the real business of the NBA is. And who knows, maybe that trade will do for European players what LeBron James's decision did in terms of player empowerment. Let's hear your thoughts on that in the comments section. Still, the difference in mindset between European and American superstars becomes even clearer when you look at how European players define winning. For many NBA superstars, the goal is simple. Put yourself in the best possible situation to win as quickly as possible, even if it means changing teams, forming new combinations, or chasing better opportunities. But for players like Jokic, the process matters just as much as the result.
Napravili smo nešto zajedno ovdje, napravili smo nešto ovdje zajedno kao tim i nekako da ne osvojimo ništa više do kraja ne bio, nekako mi je...
Organska je titula bila.
Da, organska titula nekako više mi vredi nego bilo šta.
The word organic explains everything. It means the success was not assembled, it was not rushed, it was built over time through struggles, adjustments, and growth. That kind of success carries a different meaning because it reflects the entire journey, not just the outcome. This is what we saw with Steph Curry at Golden State, and we might not see it again from an American superstar. However, it is what Victor Wembanyama is trying to do in San Antonio. That statement is not about staying in one place for the sake of it, it's about building something lasting, something that represents consistency, identity, and long-term success with one organization. When you think about winning this way, demanding a trade becomes less appealing. Leaving would mean starting over, breaking continuity, and abandoning something that is still being built. So instead of looking for a faster path somewhere else, they stay and continue the process. European superstars do not avoid demanding trades by accident. It's a result of how they were developed, how they view the game, and how they define success. They grow up in systems that prioritize the team over the individual, and they build real connections with organizations and cities. So when things go wrong, their first instinct is not to leave, it's to fix it. However, the American superstars are also correct in calling it a business and advising players to move on when situations change. Both approaches make sense in their own context. But do you think this will continue if Giannis Antetokounmpo eventually asks for a trade? Do you think that, coupled with the Luka trade, will force European stars to start demanding trades? Let us know your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, watch The Pain of Loyalty next.